all the pencils that I brought up to my desk to take notes, they're not sharpened, and I don't have a sharpener. I want everyone to see that because this is my life. You know, as soon as I'm so raring to go, they'll be like, oh, I have pencils. I can't use them. I just thought that was kind of funny. So I was going to take notes and talk about our events, but B, tell everybody who you are and what you do, specifically with Siphon.
Okay, and I know that I've had some training on a 30-second commercial that
You can talk as long as you want, honey.
I'll give it a go. I'm B Hopkins, Susan's partner, other half, and I do internet business development. What I do is I help businesses generate revenue and leads from their website. I create a really specific for them strategy that they can use, they can take and implement, and really build up the traffic, improve their conversion rate, because you can have a lot of traffic coming to your website, but if people are leaving immediately after they come, what good is that? And also find ways that you can generate revenue with your website. So, part of the thing that bootcamp that you went to, implementing some of those ideas and strategies, because every business owner has an asset, and their asset is their knowledge. So how can you leverage that so that you do it once and continue to get paid for it? So that's my specialty. That's what I love to do. That's what I love to help businesses do.
And I wanted to tell everybody, I met B at a networking event, and now we're going to be business partners. And what we're doing is we're going to be doing seminars on how to have your own radio show. They're going to be live in person, and they're also going to be over the internet with teleclasses. And then also you'll see a lot of B's teleclasses and B's seminars going through my networking that I do under Susan Kildall, Inc. And so everyone that talks to B, remind her every week, did you send Susan your new updated list of your seminars and of your teleseminars so that I can post them? And what we're talking about today, for everyone that's tuned in, thank you for tuning in and watching us. We're talking about implementing business strategies and taking the time to embrace change and realize the impact it has on your life. So we've gone over so many things that have happened in just the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks. And when I went to the Info Profit Success Bootcamp, I met famous people on Twitter, famous people on Facebook, Mari Smith, Carrie Wilkerson, the Barefoot Executive, Bob the Teacher. I met Carrie Powell, the Fearless Coach. I met Michelle Flamer of, I don't actually know her business name, but she's so fabulous. I met so many people. I met Carmen, who we share our love of Crocs. I'm talking to these people on Twitter. I'm meeting with them. We're talking about them being on my radio show. I'm talking to them about having one. So what does this have to do with implementing strategies for business? I had to take in a new event into my life. I'm already very busy. I have a coaching practice, consulting practice. I run a networking group. I'm active in my chamber, home life, whatever. I have a dog, a husband. I had to figure out a way to implement all of this so that I could embrace the change and make it a part of my life and not lose it. Not have it just flutter out of my head, which has always happened in the past. So when I went to this boot camp, Info Profit Product Success, that's hard to say, I came back and I had a really bad cold, and I'm so grateful that I had that cold because I could sit there and I can process it now. I've taken the time to sit there and figure out what I want, and what I want is to narrow my niche market. B and I are working on that together, and that's something that we also learned through Chuck Blakeman of Team Nimbus West. We're in his in-person 90-day challenge, and what we're learning is to plan out the week, to plan out the day, to plan out the month, but there's always going to be stuff that comes up, and that's okay. And right now, B, I miss the woodpile analogy. Can you share the woodpile analogy with everybody?
The woodpile analogy is a very visual and graphic analogy on how you take prospects, your target market, and move them into becoming customers and clients. So, but you have your target market, that's the forest, okay? And the forest has all kinds of trees. It has Douglas pines, firs, pines, aspens, maples, whatever, all kinds of trees out there. Your target market is what species of tree that you're going after. Once you go after them, it's like chopping down the tree and then chopping it up into logs and then stacking them outside. So the stack of logs outside, that's when you have their name, and you have their number, phone number, and their business number. So you've made a connection, you've made a contact, you've exchanged business cards. Bringing the logs into the house, which is the next step. That's the wood has cured long enough, it's dry, it's ready to be used. So you bring your, stack of wood into the house. And that's when you've set up a coffee or a meeting, from that
Which
point.
I call my business assessment call.
Exactly, and I'm going to actually call that one too. I'm going to use that term. I'm going to say website assessment.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
business strategy. Let me just interrupt here. Anyone that has a product or a service that you can have a phone call for or a coffee in person, give it a name. That's a strategy tip. Business assessment call, and B, what's yours going to be called?
Mine is going to be a web assessment consultation.
So a web assessment
just a web assessment.
Yeah, web assessment can be a coffee meeting or a phone call. Okay, B, back to the woodpile analogy.
Yes, so back to the woodpile. So you've set up that assessment in your case, and the wood is in the house, and it's ready to be thrown on the fire. You throw it on the fire when you made an offer. Okay, that's when you put the wood in the fireplace, and it's burning, it's burning, it's burning. Now, when they become a client is when the wood has all burned and it's turned to ashes. Okay?
Nice.
Then it's a client. Now, what do you do with ashes? What's good about ashes? What's the benefit? It's great fertilizer. So you take the ashes back out into the forest to fertilize the trees to create a new trees in your target market. So the ash is when you've turned your client into a fan, a raving fan, and they're sending you potential clients and customers. So that's
I like that. Now, I took this one step further since I was sick last week and I missed this seminar. So let me tell you how I interpreted this. This will be fun. By knowing who your target market is, by knowing who your ideal client is, sometimes they're different. Target market is who you want to market to and go after. Ideal client is your favorite person to work with. You can then go out into the forest and cut down the tree that you want. Instead of going out to the forest and cutting down all the trees and having them cure differently and burn differently, you can go to the forest and then cut down the tree that's going to best suit your wood pile. Is that a little bit of a take on what Chuck was talking about?
Yeah, that's a little bit of take. Instead of cutting down all the trees, you pick out if you want the aspens or you want the Douglas firs or whatever. Yeah.
And that sounds to me like a boy made up that. I mean, seriously, wood pile, that sounds like a guy's thing. So let's turn this into a girl thing and make it into shoes. If you're a guy, hey, we already gave you the wood pile and burning wood and ashes. Let's turn this into shoes. If a girl goes into a shoe store and she knows exactly what color she wants, she then goes to that color. So if we know who our ideal target market is, or our ideal client, or the person, our niche that we want to go after, we can then go after that person better. Is that correct?
Correct.